the business strategy session. I am super excited for everybody who's here today. Some of you I already know and are in some of my courses, and others I know besides being in my courses. And some are completely new. So I'm very excited to meet you here. I would love for you to drop in the chat what it is that you do and maybe also your Instagram or something so you guys can also connect if you feel like connecting with the people who are here, because everybody of you is on a similar mission and that's super exciting. You're all here because you really want to scale your business and figure out the strategy side of things to actually make that happen. Before we're gonna dive into the questions, I'm gonna do a really short introduction of who I am, what I do, and also some general answers of the questions that you guys sent in. So you already have a little bit of an answer to the question. And I also would love for you guys to think a little bit more specifically what your question is, because I saw a lot of good questions, but I also got some questions that were super general. And I just wanted to give you guys the time already while I'm doing a little bit of the introduction to think about what is your question, what is actually the question you have that will help you move forward. So why am I hosting this Q&A call? I think that's also important to talk about. I'm hosting this Q&A call because I want you guys to have an opportunity to see what it is like to work with me. And this is really for those who are looking for their next business coach or who are thinking about joining me in a higher program that has a higher level of support. And also for those who really want to just get some clarity on where they're at in business and if it makes sense to invest, to enroll in something based on where they're at with their questions. And some of you are already here who are thinking about the Magnetic Masterminds, which is super exciting. Some of you are in my other courses and are maybe feeling this kind of like plateau happening where you're implementing the things, it's giving you breakthroughs, but you're not actually getting the results you desire. And you're so passionate and you want this to work, but something is not clicking. And for those, it might actually also be time to take to look into what else is possible and how can I get extra support to make this a fun process, to make everything clear and let all the puzzle pieces come together of the strategy. Yeah, I think most of you know me, but my name is Ma. I am a six-figure business coach, and I help coaches, experts, and healers to attract premium clients with high vibe messaging and sales systems that work for them. And most of you here, I saw in the sign up, are coaches, are healers, are breathwork facilitators. And yeah, you are here in the perfect place, which is really exciting. And I kind of rolled into this, or I didn't roll into this. I think I was meant to do this because I started my first business when I was 17. I have had a break where I was doing college and studying and having a corporate job that was also focused on marketing. And then I got into a burnout. And with the burnout, I started to rethink again my core values, what I want from life, who I am. And I started my Dutch business for yoga teachers, helping them with authentic marketing. I did that for 2 years. It was such a fun journey. I learned so much about being an entrepreneur and also how you can have a business that is effortless, that has a business model that serves you. Because at the time I was recovering from burnout and I didn't have a lot of energy, but I was still, making my business work. And now I actually help expert coaches and healers implement the strategies that I learned in my business at the time. And one of the main things that makes me different from any other business coach is that I really focus on the high vibe, on the frequency of how you show up in your business, your messaging, how you position yourself towards your audience, how you look at your audience as well. Because if you talk down on your audience, then that might be the reason why they don't enjoy spending time with you and why they actually do not want to buy from you. And most of you here in the room are already doing high vibe marketing. Maybe some of you not intentionally, but definitely the same vibe. And that's definitely something we're going to talk about today in the questions as well. I saw kind of like 4 topics that are going to come back in this call. And of course, if there's time at the end, you can ask more questions, but we're going to try to make it equally shared to the time that we have for everybody to have some quality answers to their questions. Let me see if I covered everything I wanted to share. Yes. Yeah, and if you are interested in the Magnetic Mastermind after this, or if we've already been talking about it, of course, then we should keep talking about it. But if you're interested and you haven't applied yet, then send me a message after this and I will send you the application link, or you can go directly towards pleasureandselling.com/magnetic. And if you fill in the application form right now, you get an invite-only VIP Magnetic Masterclass where I explain in 90 minutes the high vibe sales system that me and my clients use to attract clients consistently. And when you see that, you will already get a lot more insights as well. So that's definitely available for you. Yeah, so the 3 or 4 topics that we're going to talk about today that I identified are offers and messaging. Of course, that's where it starts. Then a few questions about niche and niching down, and about sales systems and how can you book more sales calls, how can you automate things. And it wasn't a question, but I'm sure we're going to talk about having a product suite that complements each other as well, because that's one of the specialties that I've developed over the last year. So I kind of put you guys in an order in a document I have here for the questions. So I'm going to go over that order to see everybody who is live here today and has brought their question. And at the end, I'm going to do an extra check because I think we have a little bit more time because not everybody who signed up is here, and that gives you guys extra time. Let me first calculate how much time, because we are with 9. Olivia and Philip are in the same room, but they are two people who signed up. Let me calculate. And we have around an hour from now. And when it's your turn, I will give a short introduction, but you can also unmute and explain a little bit better the question that you filled in. So we have 60 minutes. Okay, we have around 6 minutes for everyone, and I will keep an eye on the time so you don't have to worry about it. The first question that was handed in, and I'm actually going to speak to some of the questions, even though the people are not here as well, because they are going to be super valuable for you. And also what I wanted to say, that's what I forgot. In the Magnetic Mastermind, we have this set up every week, and every week clients come, are put on the hotspot, can ask questions. And of course, they also have a lot of extra resources to dive deeper. So the work that we're doing today, we can only kind of like scratch the surface because I'm not your dedicated coach. I don't know everything that's going on in your business. So I'm going to do my best to answer your questions as best as I can with the information that I have and the time that we have here today. But also this is just for you to get a taste of what it's like to have me in your corner, to have that daily support, to have weekly calls like this, and to kind of like feel into, okay, is this the type of support that will get me to the next level in my business? Because my goal for you today is to have breakthrough moments with questions that you might have been thinking about for weeks, for months, maybe for a year, and to just break it down to you as simple as I can in just a few minutes, and to give you that breakthrough. And hopefully that makes you want more, because I would love to support you further in that journey. The first question was from Cynthia, and Cynthia is not here, which I actually was expecting because she already joined the Magnetic Mastermind, and we had a beautiful call yesterday about her onboarding in the Mastermind where I answered all her questions. So her question is gone. And I just wanted to share here, she shared about, should premium offers be a multiple month offer? So either 4 months or 12 months like mine, like the Magnetic Mastermind. Is there kind of a science behind the length of the program that you choose, or not? And yeah, that was the question. So very specific. So I wanted to answer it so you have that answer as well. What I always recommend is to start with a shorter amount of time. So 3 or 4 months when you're starting out with a new offer, because you are testing out the offer. You're testing out how it is for you to guide people through that offer. And that also means that if you are guiding them through the offer and at the end you're like, oh, okay, I didn't really like either the offer, how I created it, or the niche, then it only takes 3 to 4 months to complete your commitment to them. But if you're already in for 12 months, that could feel very heavy. And there's also the other aspect of your clients. If you want to know how your offer is landing, how your how the transformation that you're offering is landing for them, you want that feedback sooner. You don't want to have a complete journey after 12 months, because you also want the reviews, because that is what will help you get the next clients on board. So when you're starting out with a new offer, especially a high-end offer that you're testing in the market and how it's landing, you want to keep it a little bit shorter. Okay, then the next question was from Alina. I do not see her here, I think. So let me see what her question was and if it's still relevant. Yeah, she already said she might not be able to make it. And she asked about, okay, what would be the first steps to take and getting clients, where to start? I think most of you here are already running their business for a while, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. But the short answer, when you're starting to create an offer, you need to be super clear on your expertise. That is what comes from you. So you bring your expertise, and that's where you create the offer around, but you also match that to the market. So who wants that expertise? And then your offer becomes about what the market desires. And you also need skills to sell it, of course. And that's where I could come in, or where any other coach could come in. And for beginners, for people who have never sold anything, I am not the coach that will guide you through it, but I have some self-study courses that can help you with that. But in the Magnetic Mastermind, it's really for those who already have been selling, who have thought about the offer, who kind of have things in place already and really want to scale from there. So some people also join, for instance, the Premium Breakthrough course and then up level and go into the Magnetic Mastermind. And a very important thing here is that everybody who gets accepted for the Magnetic Mastermind, because not everybody just gets in, needs to have that expertise. So that's something I check for my integrity, because I can only work with people who actually have an expertise, and that is something that needs to come from you. I hope that's clear for everyone, but I think everybody here in the room is really clear on that. Okay, then Eva, and Eva is here, so that's good. Her question was, and I asked her already to specify it a little bit, how to make people buy my premium offers, which is a very good question, which I love to answer. If you want, you can unmute, you can explain a bit more, because you already shared with me, but the group probably also wants to hear a bit more specific what you're struggling with or what your challenge is in that scenario.
Yes. So what I'm selling now is a course for trainers, for coaches, for therapists, to work more from leaning back and from being instead of doing. And what I see is that, well, I hosted an online masterclass, and there were a lot of people very enthusiastic, and there are some people as well from that joined my program now. But after that, I just saw a drop, and I somehow didn't manage to get any new people. So only the people who joined the call now joined the program. So that's 3 people out of 6 that were live there. So that's quite good.
Definitely.
That it's like nobody new showed up, even though I did do a lot of online marketing. So yeah.
Okay. So what I also wrote down, because of the question that you specified to me, was that right now you're selling for 500 euros, and you are also kind of thinking like, okay, I can't even sell this. How can I sell something for a higher price point, right? That's also a little bit the question you had.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will speak first to that, and then we'll just talk about marketing in general, of how that works. So the thing is, a lot of people think, if I sell for a lower price point and that's not even working, how can I sell for a higher price point? And actually, it's the same amount of effort that you put into selling something for 500 euros as you do for selling something for 2,500 euros, because you have to create the funnel, you have to create the sales page, you have to create the offer, you have to talk to the people, you have to answer questions. So the time spent on both the offers is the same. The difference in selling it is in the messaging. How are you calling in the right people that actually feels ready to spend 2,500 euros versus somebody who spends 500 euros? And the secret there is that it could even be the same person who is spending that amount, because the price that we're willing to pay for something has everything to do with the value of the offer. So the value of the offer determines if they are willing to pay the price that you put on it. But it's not just the value that you see for the offer, it's the value that they see for the offer. So when you're presenting your offer and you are not explaining that value in a way that it resonates with them, they will not see the value for it. Does that make sense? So how do you then make it seem valuable for them, right? That's the next question. So when you are selling something, it is more about what does the person want that's going to buy it. So you might create something from an expert perspective because you know your expertise. You know how to guide them through that process of finding that ease in their practice. But what they need might not be what they want. So it might not be what they want to hear. And we'll have more questions around this topic that I will answer. And then I will give more specific examples for each of you who had that question. But in your case, Eva, I think it's, if you're just explaining, like, can you share, how are you, what, could you explain the offer to me? Like, what is the offer that you're selling to them?
The offer that I'm selling is yeah, mostly how to work with clients from a place of being instead of doing. And what I presented is that it helps them as well to preserve their energy, to do their work with ease, to feel happy and confident while they're doing their work, and also not to lean against burnout.
Okay, lots of good things in there. So your messaging, and actually that's the hint in there that the messaging is good is probably also that 3 out of 6 people on the masterclass actually signed up, right? So it might not even be the messaging that is not working for you. It might be different things in the funnel of like, okay, why are people not signing up? Because did you do another masterclass, or was that the you did? Okay, so you didn't do a masterclass, so you know the masterclass works, so you could do another one and then repeat the same system. Something in your content right now that in your normal written content is happening is not landing yet. And I don't think today we have enough time to really unravel that. But what I would love to redirect you towards is the High Vibe Content Mastery Program that I have. It's a 6-week program where we do a deep dive into all things around content. And from the people here, Erin is in the course, so she can probably say in the comments if it's a good course, because I think everybody's having really good breakthroughs. But there we really unravel all the different parts that your content involves, which means the headline, the copy, the call to action. And it's not just a call to action that says, if this resonates, reach out to me. It's really profound ways of getting people ready to buy your offers and also to reach out to you. Because if people are not reaching out to you, then probably they don't even know that you want them to reach out to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I did say a couple of times, like, if you have a question, please DM me or whatever, but yeah, also didn't work. So I
Yeah.
think that there's something else as well.
Yeah, there's definitely something missing in the call to action. A lot of people think it's enough to just say, like, reach out to me, but you need to give them more safety. You need to give them more information. They need to understand why they need to reach out to you. Because if they're reading your text and they see, okay, reach out to me, and they're not clear why or what's going to happen or all these details, then they need to be really excited about you to take that extra step. And that's the time we have today for your question. Maybe at the end we have more time. I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. I have Flo next, and Flo is also here. And Flo is in the Premium Breakthrough course, so he already has a little bit of pre-knowledge. And I have a little bit of pre-knowledge about you as well, because we have spoken before, and I also know you from Tenerife, which is always good to see people that I know. And Rachel also, of course, and Lonneke I've also met. Yeah, Flo, I see you already unmuted. Do you still know your question? Because I have it here in front of me.
Yeah, I think it was about the tagline, like how to make my offer clear. Because I mean, I work as a relationship coach for men, or that's how I position myself. I'm a hypnotherapist working with men for them to create fulfillment in their relationship, and that's a bit vague. And actually, throughout the last days since I answered your question, Amy, I came to the conclusion, like, helping avoidant men, like with an avoidant attachment style, to transform to a secure attachment style. So maybe we can work a little bit around that, how to put that like in a sentence that actually works, because like helping fearful avoidant men to create fulfilling relationship through developing a secure attachment style is a bit long. So
Yeah, and I will also, because this is what I saw also in your question, I will give you the insight that will help you understand why it hasn't clicked yet. And this has to do with in two courses I go deeper into this. So if this answer is not enough, you can also find more answers there. Did you do the Pick Your Premium Niche workshop?
in the breakthrough course, yeah.
Yeah, so there is an extension of that outside of the Premium Breakthrough course that goes a little bit deeper that I did 2 months ago. And for everybody who's interested in really figuring out how this stuff works, the the Pick Your Premium Niche workshop is 111 euros. You can always send me a DM saying niche. Erin is already cheering because she did it. And basically what I'm explaining there is, and some of these things Flo was already implementing in what he's doing, you want to focus on the desire. So there are 3 core desires. 3 core desires everybody has and every market should have that makes a business succeed, like that people actually want to buy. And it's wealth, health, and relationships. It's always these 3. And your business, you should be immediately clear like which one you're in. And yeah, like there are more details in this. If this is kind of landing, then probably the workshop is a good place to be. But for Flo, he already knows he's in relationship, because that's the place he positioned himself. And it also makes sense knowing his background. So what happens then? You want to talk about the desire of your ideal client. The desire of your ideal client is not to become, what was it? Avoidant, and what's the other one? Attached?
I think the desire
secure
would be, to see, I mean, safe and cozy, kind of, to actually feel.
Kind
Yes.
of. But like if you're talking about avoidant and attached and secure attachment style and all these terms, it is about your expertise. It's the expert language. It's what you know to be true. But there is no man lying awake in his bed thinking like, oh fuck, I really need to change my attachment style. I really need to do that. It's not how it goes, right? It's not their desire. It's the method. And there's like 2 different things in your messaging that you're talking about always. It's the desire and your methods. And your methods is around what you're talking about now. The desire is for them, in your case, to have a partner. Right?
No, I guess they have a partner, but they struggle feeling trusting and safe in the relationship. This is more the issue.
Yeah,
like
then it's to have and is it then that you help them in the relationship situation, or are you helping them with self-love?
I mean, it needs both. Obviously, it needs communication, it needs mindset, it needs emotional awareness. So it's a combination of all these.
Yeah.
And basically, the partner is a good practice ground for that.
So it's always somebody who already has a partner. It's not either one of them, or
someone who, it can also be someone who desires a partner, but desires a partner, but at the same time is afraid of the commitment because they lose their freedom, they lose themselves, and da-da-da. So
yeah. So this might even go a little bit deeper into who are you targeting, because what I teach also in the IVAP Content Mastery program is, when is somebody actually ready to buy? You want to speak to the person that's ready to buy from you. And that means somebody who is already going through certain phases, which means they are aware of the problem, of course. They have certain beliefs that it might be good to change things. And this is where most business coaches kind of stop explaining it, like the belief shifting. You can put in the chat, everybody, if you know what I mean, what I'm talking about when I say belief shifting. I think a lot of you are quite advanced in business, so probably you know what belief shifting and belief shifting post and what that's about. But you want to go even a little bit deeper. You want to talk about you want to talk to the person that is actually ready, able, and willing to make a decision. And if that person is still that kind of like stuck, I don't like the word stuck, but so like plateaued in kind of like wanting to step out of that attachment style, so they're really avoiding it, and you're highlighting that a lot in your niche, then you will attract men who are very much in trouble with that. So it's kind of still on the pain point side of things. So the desired outcome, what they want, is to really be in a committed relationship. And maybe you phrase it differently when you're already in a relationship. like to
feeling safe in it, like like having a committed relationship and actually feeling committed because you feel safe on the long run. That's kind of the difference.
Okay. And have you done market research on this specific person?
Not yet, because it came up over the last days.
Because I think it might be I don't like to say this, but it might be a little bit too narrow. Because if you're talking to men who don't feel safe in their current relationship, they first of all need to admit that they don't feel safe in their relationship. And then they need to spend money on somebody that's going to help them. But they also kind of probably need to share with their partner, like, hey, I'm investing because I don't feel safe in this relationship. So that's
usually
maybe
they know. Usually the people I work with, they have this open conversation with their partners, and they both know their sides of that struggle. And yeah, so I don't think that's.
So then the words that you've heard them say is like safe and cozy and to feel like that. That's the outcome they want.
What do they say? That's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, kind of like what I market or what I start marketing is like that you don't have to choose between connection and freedom, like that you can have both actually. And yeah, like trusting in real intimacy, like we all want intimacy, like intimacy, like real connection. But at the same time, when you're afraid of that, that's kind of the interesting niche in that there's a difference between dismissive avoidant and fearful avoidant. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but a fearful avoidant is wanting connection, but at the same time afraid of it, which most men actually have.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for you, the next step is to do more market research and to actually have the conversation with them. Like, how do they word this? And I think what you said there about having an intimate relationship or maybe taking it to the next level in their relationship, that is a little bit more desire focused. And if you're going more into the pain focus, then you're more in the part where you're calling in people that are aware of their problem, but might not be ready to shift out of it. That's the biggest difference.
So researching how they name the desire that they actually have, kind of.
Yeah. Like what do they want, and really asking them without putting the words in their mouth, because otherwise the expert language comes up first and then you don't actually have what resonates with them. And I already saw Olivia and Philip saying, I really get your offer. You're in a very similar niche with a very similar problem, so I totally get that you guys understand it. Well, you're more in the relationship, but we'll get to that in a minute. Oh yeah, and Erin also said about the High Vibe Content Mastery program, fantastic course, and Pick Your Premium Niche class is fantastic too. Thank you, Erin. Always nice to hear. Okay, Flo, that was the time we have for today. I hope it helps you get a little bit further. Awesome. And let's see. I'll pin myself. Then actually, perfect, Philip, you're next. So that's a good flow there. And your question that you brought was to fully communicate and earth my vision so that people can relate to it. And let me see. Probably the question is probably how to create posts that really convert so that it's like, whoa, this is amazing. Or and want to take a part of this. Yeah. So you can unmute and you can explain a little bit more where you feel like, what have you been doing so far and where do you feel that you're getting stuck right now?
Yeah, I feel that like my point is also the relation to getting this point where the people say, all right, this is my call to action. I want to reach out to you now. And so the content I'm creating, I think is not like really making a bridge from what I'm saying to my offer, or I offer in a way, we have a room and you can join us for 5 months. It's all about relationship and getting in touch with yourself in order to communicate and get in touch with other people. And my personal offer is like with breath work, also getting in touch to your inner self and getting it in, yeah, facing your shadows and go beyond them, facing emotions and let them release them to bring, yeah, a room where you can feel reconnection. So, yeah, and right now it feels like how to create content and bridge that content to a call of action in a way.
Yeah, so I think what might be happening for you, because I know you are such a bright light. You are so excited about your work. You love to talk about it. And I'm guessing that when you meet somebody in person, they are really stoked, right? They are kind of like, wow, this is amazing. Do you get that
Yeah.
more often? And on
Yeah.
social media, that is probably lacking. And on social media, you don't get those replies, right? You don't get people actually in your DMs like, whoa, oh my God, Philip,
No,
sign me
not
up.
really, no.
Yeah, so
And in person, it's like really simple and yeah.
Yeah, so probably it's your energy in person that is selling more and also having more time to explain. On social media, you don't have that much time. So you want to capture them, especially with like, if somebody's already interested in working with you, they will spend more time watching and reading your content and figuring it all out. But if somebody doesn't actually have any relationship with you yet, you need to address them in a different way. You need to take them on that journey of why they want to work with you. And that never starts with your offer. It always starts with the desire. And the desire is not to do a breathwork session. The desire is really what they want. And that's where you want to become really clear. And it's always one of the three: the health, wealth, or relationship. In your personal offer, do you have clarity which one it is there? Which one of the... Probably it's relationships or health in the one.
Yeah, relationship and health, like it's pretty connected. It's like feeling in the center and inner peace, and from that position on, I can move freely and make decisions clear and joyful.
Yeah, so it's probably the relationship to self.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then it's relationship, and then you also probably need to do a bit more market research on who your client is. You're in the Premium Breakthrough course, so there is a lesson on how you can do the market research, and you really want to understand who is my client and what are they wanting, what is their desire. And the desire is not the breath work, because that's the method. It's really okay,
Yeah.
the thing they want. And probably you are not being specific enough, because if you cannot formulate your desire clearly, it means that you haven't niched down enough. And you don't have to, like, the way I teach it also in the Premium Breakthrough course, also in the workshop, it's not about niching down and really putting yourself in a box, but it's about clarity of the transformation. And when I read what you're all about, it's about that spiritual spiritual transformation, right? That's mostly the thing, the connection to the self, but also evolving in a spiritual way.
Yeah, I would say so.
And probably you've done that journey yourself as well, right?
Yeah.
Why are you on that journey? What is the desire you have there?
I think to really live a life of full joy and compassion.
And what does joy mean?
A meaningful life, like not something shallow or whole in a way, or yeah.
And so, if you have an offer that is not super, I don't like to say tangible or intangible, because it kind of puts you in this box, my offer is harder to sell, which is not true. But if you talk about the benefits, if you talk about, okay, why do I want to live a more fulfilled life? And then also make it specific by talking about a daily situation in relationship to your partner, or in relationship to your friends, or how you show up at a party, to make it really relevant. Like, I want to live a fulfilled life, and to me that means, and then you give these examples. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so much.
Can you fill it in already? Like, I want to live a fulfilled life.
In the past, I made the connection, like, so I want to talk about the transformation, and then I always like ended up talking about pain points, and that what I didn't want to do that. So
Yeah, if that's the shift you're looking for, then the High Vibe Content Mastery is perfect to complementary with the Premium Breakthrough course or even the Magnetic Mastermind. But that's really where I go into detail on all these things of making that shift happen from not being stuck in pain points to really focusing on really what the what the high vibe is, how you can speak to the desire. And to round up your question about how can I speak to them and then actually sell, you want to start with the desire. You want to start with this is what you desire and make them feel seen in it, to really speak in detail, like this is what you desire, this is what it looks like, you can almost taste this is how you want to feel. So they will feel seen and they will see that you understand where they want to go to. Then you also put in maybe some authority, who you are, and then you make that bridge towards, okay, this is how you get there. And then you talk about breathwork and your other methodologies and how you are actually helping your clients. And then after that, when you have agreement on this is the desire, this is where I want to get them, or this is the desire, this is how they are going to get there, then you introduce, well, actually, I have this offer. So you're not selling your offer, you're selling the idea around your offer. You're selling the methodology of your offer, because then they basically feel like, hey, I found this offer and it's exactly what I already know I need, because Philip explained it so nicely in the post. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you
That's
so
one
much.
really simple funnel.
Yeah.
Okay. I see Daina had a question, but I think I know she's not here. Her question was, how can I improve my messaging to speak more to my ideal clients, and where do I find more of them? I think we've talked a lot about messaging already, so I'm gonna skip this one for now. Oh yeah, actually she had a good question, because I know she started working with a copywriter, and what I want to say about that is I have a client in the Magnetic Mastermind who work with the copywriter, really good one. The texts are really nice. They speak to clients, they get clients, they convert, but they are heavily focused on pain points. And what happens when you focus a lot on pain points, you attract clients who are in their pain. And that means they are in victim mode. And when they're in victim mode, that is how they enter your world. So when you have a client, like some of you have probably clients, and some of them are doing really well and you like working with them and they get results really fast. But then there are other clients who are not showing up, are missing calls, are really not putting in the work, not reaching out, and then kind of like, yeah, but it's not working, that vibe. There's a big difference in how you're calling in your clients. If you know how to use high vibe messaging, what I teach, you call in committed all-in clients who are ready to pay, are so happy to pay, happy for your support. And on the other end, you have the victim client who is kind of lost, doesn't know how to solve their problem anymore, and you are their last lifeline. You can see the different dynamic, right? If you're the last lifeline, it puts so much pressure on you, and probably you're not enjoying spending much time with the client because the client is not putting in the work, not like your other clients if you have one of the hero clients. So that's something I wanted to say here. If you're thinking about outsourcing your messaging, or if you're already using Painpoint and that is working, but you're having these type of clients, then probably you need to change. You need to shift towards high vibe messaging, because that is what actually calls in hero clients who put in the work. And that is like, it doesn't mean that those people are not in your audience. It's really changing how you speak to them. And there's a whole strategy behind that, how you can do that. And then there were a few more questions. Yeah, not having a clear strategy on my messaging, which we covered, or as far as I can cover that today in this call. Another quick question. I get a lot of I'm too expensive. This was from Cleo. She's not here right now, but I will speak to it because everybody can hear this. If you're hearing the objection that you're too expensive, then the value of your offer is not clear. If the value of your offer is clear, if the perceived value of your offer is clear, which you obviously explain with messaging, you will only hear this is very expensive and I understand the value. You won't hear it's too expensive, because they can match the value with the price. And of course, there are still going to be people that actually don't have the money. That is reality. But if you are explaining the value correctly, then you won't hear too expensive. That is the first thing. Another thing is when you're using messaging, or you should be using messaging always. It's really your secret superpower to call in the right type of clients. Where have you been calling in people that don't have the money? Where are you speaking to people who don't have the money? And a super simple example could be if I'm always sharing about my business, I help my clients go from 0 to 10K months. Guess who I will attract? People who are at 0. And I actually know my work works best with people who are already in a higher price range, who are already making money, who are already doing things in their business that are getting them clients. And it's just about fine-tuning and tweaking some things. So if somebody comes into my world who has 0 experience, right now I refer them to my courses, and that's where they can start and where they can hang out until they are ready for more. And they will feel when they're in that course, okay, actually, I am ready for more. I know these are the strategies. I just need a little bit more help implementing them. I want to be in this space. I want to have like this table of other leaders in the space that want to be big in their industry. And I want to be in that energy. Then they're ready for the next step. So if you are hearing too expensive, then most of the time it's a messaging issue. It's not clear the value. And if they really don't have the money, then it's still a messaging issue because you've been calling in people who don't have the money. And yeah, another question, how to communicate about the offers with potential clients. I think we've covered that. Niching down. Jeanette, she's also not here. Solidify my premium offer. Yeah, I would just recommend her to go to the Pick Your Premium Niche workshop. Like I already mentioned, I have a 4-step formula there to really get clarity on your premium niche. And this is for everybody who already has a niche as well, because it's really, I had so many people go through it saying, okay, actually, I thought I knew my niche, but I didn't. And this shifts everything because it gives you the foundation of what you can build all your content on. And another question from Erin. Yay, it's your turn. Am I in the right niche? How do I call in clients that I like to work with? Can you talk a little bit? Because I know you've been in this process because you're in High Vibe Content Mastery. So when you filled this in, you weren't clear, but I think you already shifted a bit, right?
Yes, I did. And doing your Pick Your Premium Niche class really helped. And looking at past client reviews that were, in that worksheet you provide, that really helped give me some clarity around that. So yeah, I think I know where my starting point is, and I think it's something that might evolve. I don't have to have it perfect. I just need to have a starting point to start implementing the strategies you're teaching.
Nice. So your answer is basically already there. And I love that you're saying it doesn't have to be perfect, because finding your niche is something that you will grow more into. And you have to have, like, I think I would say like 70% of the foundation should be clear. And then from that, you can build on that. And we'll figure that out like as you go, and with the feedback from the market as well. I think one really important insight that I want to share about your experience here is that you were almost ready to give up on your niche because you felt really heavy around it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then seeing actually, okay, why do I feel heavy around it? Maybe it has something to do with those victim clients coming in versus actually calling in clients who are like you, who are showing up, who are committed, who want this to work. Because I know before I figured this out, I also had a few clients that actually weren't showing up. And I also started to look at myself, like, am I doing something wrong? Is there something wrong with my methodology or what I'm teaching? And it really puts you in a place where if you don't understand that you are not the issue, it's just the people that you called in and how they are going through the motions. You kind of like, yeah, you have to start to see that to actually enjoy your work again, right?
Yes.
So I love that you got that clarity.
Yeah, thank you. That premium
Awesome.
niche class really helped with that. So thank you.
Yes, I knew that you needed that one.
You were right.
Awesome. Okay, Lonneke, I think you are here. Yes, nice. Good to see you again.
You too.
It's very dark there.
Yeah, that's right. And also there's light only from the back.
And you have your cats. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, all cozy. I have your question, and it's time and visibility so people can find me. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yes, definitely. And actually, I have another question as well. I think I was just scrolling through my questions, like can't choose to what to start with.
Yeah. I saw that one.
Yeah, so time is like a personal issue, I guess. But it is a question like how much time is the right amount to spend on, like, creating the offers, etc. Because I am still not done in your course, Premium Breakthrough course. because I just, you know, with every step, I'm just so much like feeling into things and like, oh no, this is not right. No, I feel this is not the correct sentence and I want to change it. And actually, I have been doing a workation with my mom here in September. We're both working together for all the other people. And we came up with 2 offers. And both the offers we're not very happy about anymore. We did it after market research, after talking to like 10 different people, in-depth interviews. And now we're like, yeah, we're a bit stuck in, okay, what type of offer do we need to start with? Where do we need to focus on? And how much time should we invest in this?
Yeah, so it all depends on your goals, of course. And I think I'm going to weave in a little bit of the question of Rachel as well. And I think it has a little bit to do with seeing the bigger picture of your profitable business model. Does that make sense when I say it like that?
Yeah, well, what resonates with me now is that I think like the bigger picture, we've been talking about it, and that we want to have a business that we both can live with from, and an amount that we want to, in 5 years, like kind of like the North Star, that we want to make profit. So that bigger picture we do have, but then like there's so many steps possible in this towards that goal.
I think I can make that picture a lot clearer for you. So I always have clients where their core desire is wealth. They want to scale in their business. They want to grow. They want to also sometimes reach more people, but mostly they want to have a profitable business. Because what I believe is you can give a lot, but it needs to be in balance. You also need to receive a lot. And especially in the field that we play at, we want to be, or we are, and I think a lot of you actually are, we are leaders. And we are leading people around us towards a better life. But that also comes with choosing ourselves as the premium identity that we have to lead the way, to go first, to also have that life that we desire. And for me personally, that means having also a lot of resources, actually having a lot of money. And by making a lot of money, I know I can give back. That's one of the reasons why I can host this event right now, because I know some of you are interested in leveling up from a course to the Magnetic Mastermind, or actually just starting to work with me or joining a course. I know that's going to happen also from people who watch the replay. They're going to be like, okay, fuck, I've been sitting on my desk for so long on this topic, and now I hear her talk and Amay just says this and this and this, and it lands for me. So that makes it possible for me to give these events. I know that you're doing quite a lot of low ticket events, like breathwork for, I don't know what price point, with 50 euros or something probably. And when you're thinking of time, because I'm kind of combining both your questions, where are you spending your time? And it might still be something that you really enjoy doing, but it also means that that is where your focus goes. If you decide to work on those things, then you don't have time for other things. And when you're creating your offers, I think it's also a good question to ask yourself, why haven't I put it out there yet? Because it could be multiple things. It could be perfectionism. It could be really not being excited about the offer. But I don't think you're not excited about it, because you love what you do. Your mom loves what you do. You had this workation. You did market research. So probably you do like it, but something is missing in the offer, or in actually you wanting to birth that offer. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%. And perfectionism is really like a big thing in my life.
What I always say is I'm a recovered perfectionist, which is partly true because sometimes I get back in there, but compared to where I was 5 years ago, I am not a perfectionist anymore. And this is what I have to say about perfectionism that really shifted that for me. It doesn't exist. Being perfect does not exist. And the last 20% is probably where you spend all your time perfectionism. I don't know, making it more perfect. And that last 20% is actually what nobody cares about, because it's subjective. It's your opinion of what makes it perfect. But the bigger picture of the offer and the transformation of the offer, that first 80%, that's enough. That's really enough. That's enough for the offer to be born, for people to sign up, for your first 5 clients to come in. And then the last 20% of optimizing starts to make sense, because you have direct feedback. You see how they go through it. And that's the only way how you can perfect an offer. Because if you're just creating it If you're just creating it from your workspace, from your living room, for yoga teachers sitting on their yoga mat and channeling the course and making it come through, that's not how you create an offer. An offer is created by having direct feedback. I also still change things in my offers based on what I see my clients need in that moment, especially in the Magnetic Mastermind. The other courses are a bit more aesthetic because I really create them from knowing this is what you need. But still, Erin is in the live launch right now, and I'm asking everybody all the time, like, what is your question about this topic that I'm going to host next week? There's not a high level of coaching inside of it, because that's not what the container is about. But I always ask them, like, hey, what do you feel like learning from this? And at the end, I ask, like, hey, what are your questions about this topic? Because I can think of the things that I know need to be in there. But the last part of having that perfect offer is really tapping into the needs of the person that goes through the offer. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It does. I think like the 80-20% thing, definitely. But yeah, I mean, I still feel like we can get an offer out there, like put it out there, but then I have difficulty in choosing which of the offers, more focused on breathwork, more focused on family constellation, combining them fully. And then there's this second thing of like of the three bigger wealth, health, and relationships. Like breathwork is mainly health thing, but can also be used for relationships. And same thing, like family constellations is mostly on relationships.
Yeah.
You can see it in a different way. So we really struggle with that because we do combine different methods, and also we will bring in more methods in the future.
Yeah, I would not base the offer based on the method. I would base the offer based on the desire, and the method is how you help them get through that. So the desire, have you already thought of it that way as well? Because it is in the Premium Breakthrough course, so maybe you have.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
So what is there the niche or the transformation you chose for?
I have to think back because it's September. Not really on top of mind right now anymore. Yeah, so I have to check that back.
Okay, so that is already where you're probably not 100% focused on why people are going to buy. People buy because of the desire and not because of the method. It's really like what's in it for them. What is the transformation that they long for? And then you can put everything in it. You can put the breathwork in there. You can put the constellations in there. Of course, you don't want to put too much in there because you want it to be the journey that they actually want. But if you create your offer around that, then you don't have to choose, because it's not about the methodology. It's really about the desire. And that's also what people come for to your offers. If somebody comes to breathwork, it's probably because they are already familiar with breathwork, or because somebody said, hey, you need to go. But why do they go there? Most of the time it's for health if you don't instruct them differently. And I actually have a breathwork coach for business. So the breath is the methodology, and the desire there for me is wealth. Of course, I also get some of the health benefits of breathing, but the main focus I'm in that course working with her is because of wealth. And I'm actually also gonna get a certificate in that and adding some of those flavors to the Magnetic Mastermind. So my methodology is strategy, but the methodology strategy can also be matched with having also breathwork as a methodology in business to scale. So for you, the desire is really what you need to figure out, and it's probably relationship or health, but I can also imagine it's health for you. And then how are you going to help people in that journey?
Yeah. So we'll be both possibly in that bigger offer, but that doesn't matter. Then I understand.
Yeah, so it's about creating that one offer that really excites you and that excites the people, and also based on the market research, and then just go and do it. Like full permission to just do it and stand in your power, because there's so much more that you can offer than just one single breathwork session, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we do day retreats, but not like the longer programs. That's I think like a big step for us.
So maybe that's why, like that you feel like, wow, this is maybe too big. I'm a little bit scared to actually do it.
Yeah.
So that's something to work on then. And it's also something, yeah, you can always get, either you can use the course, of course, you can also get actually a business coach that is with you hands-on, that helps you, because it might even be like, hey, I'm scared, not because of my expertise, but I'm actually scared if people will buy, if people will actually, buy, if they will actually join it. And what if I put it out there and nobody buys? If you don't have that strategy around it, probably you feel scared, but not for the reason that you think you are, but really because you're lacking some of the strategy and you're kind of like going around in circles like, do I want to launch it? Yes or no? But the real question is, how do I launch it? What is the plan around it? And you have already in the Premium Breakthrough course a plan, but maybe you want and desire more support. That's also okay. But I would just say, like, go for it and do it messy and just take a lot of action, because that's how you're going to learn. That's how you get the feedback. You know, from hosting these breathwork sessions, every time you host a session, you get better at what you do. Same with putting your offer out there. And just because I'm a business coach doesn't mean I have never had a launch that didn't work out. There's always a little bit of a risk when you put something out there. And of course, I know a lot better how to do market research. I have a warm audience and all these things, but it is about playing. Entrepreneurship is about playing and making mistakes and failing and solving them and just standing up again. And for me, that's one of the fun parts about it. And when you start to shift that mentality and not get stuck in the perfectionism, you get to do so much more. You get to express so much more. And sure, maybe it's not going to be perfect the first time, but you'll get better. And that's how you do it.
Yes, thank you.
Of course. I had a few more questions, but I saw Rachelle had to leave, and her question was the last one because it was so juicy and it just was good in the flow. So I'm going to do it anyway, and I hope that she has time to watch the replay. But we have 15 more minutes, and I am going to go over the quick questions for some quick wins for all of you if they are very specific questions. Length of posts. This was a question from Robin. I don't like long posts. I don't read them or post long posts. So that was a question from her. If you don't like long posts, you can also do something different. I know that sometimes people need more information. I actually love long posts. I love writing them. For me, it's harder to write a short post, especially with the call to action that I teach. You already have like half of your post being the call to action. But yeah, what I would recommend is to play with that and to have, if you don't like writing long posts, maybe go on a camera and talk about the things, because people need information to be able to make a decision. And yeah, you want to give them information as well. And it could mean if you have a team that supports you, if you have a VA, that person could even make a script or a transcript from your video. But also sometimes it doesn't mean that you don't like writing long posts. It could also mean that you just don't know how to do it yet. And that's where you get to be really honest with yourself. Am I not writing long posts because I just don't know what to put into it? Or is there something else going on? And that's how you also get to the core of what is really the question that I need support with. What is really the question that I have? To ask yourself a little bit deeper, like, what does that mean? Be very specific with your questions. Because the quality of your question determines the quality of the answer. And that's definitely what I saw in some of the people who send in questions. You can be so much more specific. Olivia, we also have you still. I have your question here now. Position myself, attracting clients, marketing that works for me. How to stay true to myself while doing marketing in social media. Don't get lost in comparison with other coaches. Goodbye, Lonneke. Good to have you here. Yeah, Olivia, can you speak a bit more towards it, also with what I've already shared today?
So I think I have some different challenges. So I will also, the positioning is one of the challenges, because I know some of the methods, like also breath work, energy work, human design, gene key readings. And for me, it's a bit hard to formulate a desire and to say, okay, I can help you exactly with this and that, because I feel a bit strange promising something when I don't know what happens. Like, I have an expertise and I also helped people before, and I gave some individual sessions, but I never did like a long-term offer or something. So for me, it's a bit hard to say, okay, I can help you with building a relationship or something like that, because it's, I feel like I can't promise it, although I know I can contribute something well for the person. So this is one, I would say, challenge that hinders me a bit on writing posts, because I'm a bit like, God, what should I write? And then, yeah, the other thing is that there's so many different options or strategies how to do the marketing. Like some people post every day, some post a video, whatever. And I feel like I'm looking a bit how others are doing it and not so much how I can, yeah, bring my message. So, yeah.
Okay, so the first one is about the messaging and being clear of who you're speaking to. And I would recommend for you to really let go of that story that your offer is super unique and that it's not possible to give somebody a specific direction. Because by choosing these stories and thinking that we are more special and our offer is not going to be as clear as other offers, you're making an excuse for yourself that it's okay that you haven't figured out your messaging. But with what you're doing, you can always be clear and specific and give people direction. You are no different in that. And it is standing in your way right now to actually write specific content. So what I would recommend is to really figure out which one of the three, the wealth, health, and relationship, is your core desire. And then let go of that. You need to use all your tools at the same time for everyone, because you don't. It just needs to come up for that desire. And with those desires, do you already feel which one is the one for you?
Yeah, I would also feel mostly relationship, because I feel like I want to help people and feel more empowered and trust their inner wisdom and feel connected with themselves and like more self-love. So I would say relationship is mostly fitting.
Yeah, so I would say go for that. And it doesn't mean that you're limiting yourself to speak about the other things. It just means you have a clear direction and you're really focused on, okay, what I do helps people get self-love. And probably how you've been seeing it is I help people get self-love and relationship and wealth, and it can work everywhere. But this is choosing a direction. So you're choosing, okay, my main focus, what I'm good at, what I enjoy spending my most of my direction and time on in like the client dynamic is self-love. And of course, when somebody works on themselves, the other areas are growing too and are triggered too and are expanding. But your main focus is that. Can you feel that?
Yeah.
It's going to help you so much when you're going to write. It's going to be so clear, okay, this is what I'm writing for. Because then when you start about the desire and then you match it with your methods, it has a structure. It is about, okay, actually the desire is self-love. So you can talk about, do you only work with women or with everybody?
I mean, mostly women felt attracted, but it wasn't so much on purpose. So I'm open for women and men, but yeah, so far I'm mostly at women clients.
Okay, so what you can do, of course, it can feel super strong for a woman if you say I'm dedicated to working with women, but you don't have to narrow yourself, obviously, because yeah, that's not needed. And what you then do is you're really specific, and not everything has to be in one post. So you can write one post for a woman, calling her in and being very specific, like what does it mean for self-love? So what is she experiencing right now? Probably she doesn't feel as confident. So you don't, like, I don't lead with pain points in messaging, but I also don't I do still acknowledge where people are at, because it's really important that they also see that you see where they're at right now. So instead of saying like you are not confident, you are shy, you don't want to speak to that. You want to speak more like the opposite. So you want to say like you really desire to feel confident, to walk into a room and to speak to the people without wanting to hide, and really feeling the connection with everybody there, meeting new people without hiding in that corner, kind of like that. That's a bit of the flavor. And then you could add in a little bit of a flavor, like, but right now you look at other women who do that and you don't feel equal to them. And I also know it's also available for you. And how I can help you with that is with, and then you say energy work, human design, or you just kind of weave that in so they know actually with all these things you can do that. And this is kind of like there are so many self-love coaches out there. But the thing is, people know, okay, this is where I'm at, this is my desire. What you do with great marketing is you speak to the desire. And it doesn't mean that nobody else can get them there. And this is a big difference with bro marketing and what they do and what I teach. Bro marketing says you are here, you want to be here. The only way to get there is through my offer. I'm the only one that can help you. I'm your savior. You need to go here. That's not my vibe at all. What makes more sense is to actually say, you are here. This is where you want to be. And I am here as well. My clients are here as well. I've helped people get here. And how you can get there as well is by following this path where I lead you the way with human design, with energy work, with these things. And of course, you can also come up with your own method, and that goes beyond the scope of what we have today. But basically, you're telling them that. Philip might be telling them, this is you. You want to have self-love. You want to have all these things. I have it. My clients have it. This is the path that I help you get there. Then let's use Erin in this example. You are here, you want self-love, and then Erin is the coach, and she works with health, with nutrition, and she says, well, if you want self-love, you need to take care of yourself, you need to be healthy, you need to have these nutritions. So then she shows that path, and your ideal client will resonate most with your story. So it's not about convincing everybody, it's about convincing, or not convincing actually, it's about aligning with your ideal client, showing them the path, that you are the one that can guide them there. And then with like little bits and pieces extra in this strategy, they are super excited to join. So it's not about forcing them, but it's really about showing them the path towards their desire and where they're at right now, but also how you, with your methodology, can get them there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. And then the second part of your question about the sales, the strategy and looking at other people, what I can highly recommend is to really tap into your own energy and what do you want to do and how you want to do it. And if you lack the strategy right now, it might make sense to either really, because I know you also have the Premium Breakthrough course, really focus on that, like tunnel vision, and just go all in on it, or to actually work with a coach that can guide you, because then you can put your attention there and that person can guide you. And I would love to be that person for you, to guide you through, okay, these are the steps. And instead of looking at what everybody else is doing, because I can tell you a secret, what you see on the outside is not something that always works. I also try things out, and I try them out to play, and they might not work. And then somebody copies it and it also doesn't work because it wasn't the real strategy. So you kind of need to have your own strategy, and it doesn't mean copying your coach. And I think that's also where a lot of other coaches are kind of forcing their strategy upon you because it worked for them, it worked for some of their clients, and they blame you for, okay, this is not working for you. I think with the Premium Breakthrough course, especially with the marketing around it, you probably have a strategy that is aligned and that you can implement. And it might also mean that you want to play more, you want to find your own voice. And that's what I help people with in the Magnetic Mastermind, to really make sure, okay, hey, you've had your first clients, you had your first sales, let's play, let's find your voice. Because it's kind of like your parents putting you on a sport, right? You can probably, like, my parents didn't put me on it, but I played soccer and I was terrible, but I joined because all my friends joined and I didn't actually enjoy it. So of course, when I moved to college, I dropped out. I didn't continue. And that's what happens as well with all the strategies that people teach. You can be successful, you can even score, but you won't sustain because you don't enjoy what you're doing there. So it's really important that you find both a sales system that works, which means having lead generation, having inbound and outbound lead generation, actually closing a sale. But then also, does it work for you? Do you enjoy what you're doing there? So that's what I can say about the strategy. And I hope you can take mostly away from it, focus on yourself and not on everything else that is happening. Because in the end, you need to choose what works for you. And that can also mean, like, when you feel a hit and you feel like, okay, this person needs to be my guide. Like how I find my coaches is just also on social media most of the time, when I just see somebody and I feel, okay, that person I can learn so much from. So I want to be in their space. And yeah, so it's about choosing who are you actually going to pay attention to. But even my clients, when they're working with me, I always tell them, like, what do you want? Because I can tell you, but it needs to come from you, and I can guide you in that process, and I can show you examples, and I can like give suggestions based on what I know from you. But in the end, it needs to come from you. Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Of course. I also want to speak to Rochelle's question, because she is not here, but yeah, it was a really good question and I think all of you will enjoy it. She asked, how can I automate things more? And then I asked her, what do you mean? What do you mean with automation? Like, what are we talking about exactly? And then she said, growth with a certain level of automation funnel that brings them through the different steps. So I do have some things automated, but I mostly have a really, really strong business strategy. And that means having the right messaging, because if you're having really clear language for your clients, you don't need a big audience. So you don't need a big automation where lots of leads come in all the time, because it's about quality of what you say, not quantity. And of course, when you have a really strong message and then the room is full of people, you get more results. So it is nice to grow. But right now I have a 6-figure year and I have not even 800 followers on Instagram. And I think right now I have 3,000 people on Facebook, and I have 500, not even 500, I think 450 people on my email list, which is not a lot. So if you have more than that, you should easily make more than me if you implement the right strategies. So it's not about automating the shit out of everything. It's really about being clear. Who are you speaking to? What is your message? Who do you want to call in? What is your offer? And then the next step in scaling, which I am now doing in my business for a few months already, and next year is going to be even more about this, and I'm already helping clients with this as well, is to not just sell one premium offer, but to create different offers that lead into that offer. So like the Premium Breakthrough course, it's really, really simple for people to see what I do, what I teach, how it is for them, and then decide, hey, do I want more? Do I want support? Do I want to be in the space with MA at the table with more clients who are also doing this, who also feel that vibe? Same with the High Vibe Content Mastery. Erin is in there right now. I think you're going to join Magnetic probably, right? I see you already nodding. Not to put you on the spot, because of course it needs to be a grounded decision, but we've been talking a bit already. And that is the flow, because you get a taste of what it's like to work with me. You get a lot of insights. You get like, okay, this is happening. I see breakthroughs. And then you can go to the next program with me. And the main thing is my Magnetic Mastermind. So all the roads lead there. And then you can hang out with me there for whatever amount of time, because I am always evolving. I am always learning. So I can teach people on the same path that want to follow me in that direction. And by doing that, by setting up such an intentional product suite with different products, like the higher offer, but then also the mid-priced offers, like the Premium Breakthrough course and the High Vibe Content Mastery. And I also have a few masterclasses for 111. Right now I have the Content That Sells masterclass, and that one leads into the High Vibe Content Mastery, because when you like what I'm teaching there and you get breakthroughs, you want to be in the other program. Then from that program, you want to be in the Magnetic Mastermind. But also from the Premium Breakthrough course, if you feel like, hey, the Magnetic Mastermind is not where I can hang out right now, but I would love to learn more about content, you can make a jump to the High Vibe Content Mastery program. So there are like, this path is made so intentionally. And it also makes it possible for me to step out more, and also to work with clients where I know that we can work on the things that I really like to work on, because in those other programs, we do really cool stuff. And I really, really like what I'm teaching there. I think the High Vibe Content Mastery is my favorite, but it is also something that I already know and I've been doing for a long time. So to teach that again and again and again is not sparking my light anymore. And I'm multi-passionate. I always like to be challenged. So for me, I want to spend most of the time with my clients inside of the Magnetic Mastermind. And the other courses exist, and they keep on existing, and people keep on buying them, and then they jump into the Magnetic Mastermind. So that is the next step in scaling. The first step is messaging, getting really clear on your main offer, and then having all these different offers where you create them once, you deliver them live, or if you want, you don't have to do it live, but for me, that is really how I enjoy it most. And then they exist in your product suite. You can direct people towards it who are not ready for the bigger offer yet. You can make money while you're sleeping, and people are primed and getting ready to actually join the bigger program. So that is my personal way, my favorite way of automating. It's not about having bots speak to your leads or and then one thing about automating that I didn't mention is having a VA. Like if you don't have a VA right now, you need to get one. And this is also something I teach in the Magnetic Mastermind. It doesn't have to be a big investment. And if you're deciding whether to work with a coach or getting a VA, probably you should get the coach first, because you can really build the structure in your business, because a VA is not going to do that. A VA is just taking away the tasks that you don't enjoy doing. So that is something I also teach in the Magnetic Mastermind, how to step away from those tasks, step more into your zone of genius. And yeah, I think those are the three main things about scaling: messaging, having the product suite, and having a VA on board that supports you. Okay, that's it for today, guys. I would love for you all to drop in the chat. Oh, actually, let's if you're still here, let's unmute everyone, not at the same time, but after each other, and share your biggest aha moment from today. I would love to hear that. Erin, maybe you can start.
Oh my gosh, I don't know where to start. I love what you just ended on, kind of the pathway of the messaging product suite VA. I think that makes so much sense. And yeah, you need to be clear who you're speaking to. I think it makes the path a lot longer and harder when you don't have the messaging dialed in.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. And Flo.
Yeah, I think for me really the what already is in the breakthrough course, but I just didn't like. There's so much information there that sometimes the super relevant ones they're slipping through, and I'm focusing on something else, even though I watched these videos multiple times. The calling in the people I want to work with and how do they speak, like learning their way of describing their desired outcome.
Yeah,
That is my biggest takeaway, like just how important that actually is.
I love that. Yeah, and it is like reading a good book. If you have a good book, you need to read it again to read between the lines, and you're already doing that. And then maybe it is actually that a business coach could guide you through that path, because you might be stuck on one specific thing, but it's not where you need to be looking. And it's all in there, but of course, having somebody guide you through that process can open your eyes a bit faster. So I'm happy that I got to do that for you today. Olivia and Philip.
I would say allowing myself to formulate a concrete desire and to have focus, and also what you said to Lerneken, like about the perfectionism. I also relate to that. So yeah, it was good reminders.
Awesome. And Philip.
And for me, was it creating an indirect path to my offer, like shaping a storyline that leads to my offer at the end. So the people get to know it and want to get to know more about it.
I love that. Yeah, to take them on the journey and to really, provide that path for them. Awesome. Eva.
Yeah, for me it was also really the desire. So getting very clear on the desire and also using the words of the people you want to work with. Yeah.
So important. Awesome, guys. Thank you for being here today. I will send a replay to my whole email list, so you will get it as well. You can rewatch it. It will be online for 7 days, and then I will take it down. And thank you all for being here and putting your energy in here. Have a beautiful rest of your day.